Well, we did it. We have finished the first epistle of John. Today I want to study John's other two letters. Let's start with his second letter. Second John is a very short letter. It is essentially the cover letter of First John. This letter is the apostle's personal greeting to the Christian congregations in Asia Minor, who will then hear First John, which is more like a sermon than an actual letter. John calls himself the elder. In the New Testament, pastors are frequently called presbyters or elders. An elder is a pastor. In the ancient world, age connotes wisdom, experience, and authority. So by calling a pastor elder, you confess that he has spiritual wisdom and has authority over the congregation. John is the elder par excellence because he is an apostle and he has served the church for decades. He addresses his letter to the elect lady and to her children. The elect lady is the community of believers, the church. The children refer to the individual believers. At the end of the letter, the elect sister gives greetings. This would be another Christian congregation. Now that we have that background information, let's dive right in. 2 John, verse 1. From the elder, to the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not only I, but all those who know the truth too, because of the truth that dwells in us and will be with us forever. Grace and mercy and peace will be with us from God the Father and from Jesus Christ, the Son of the Father, in truth and love. I was very glad because I have found those of your children who were walking in the truth, just as we received instruction from the Father. So now, O lady, I ask you, not as someone who is writing to you a new instruction, but that which we have possessed since the beginning, that we love one another. And this is love, that we walk in accordance with his instruction. This is the instruction, just as you have heard since the beginning, that you should walk in it. Because many deceivers, who do not confess that Jesus Christ comes in the flesh, have gone out into the world. This is the deceiver and the Antichrist. Watch yourselves, so that you do not lose the things for which we have worked, but rather receive a full reward. No one who goes ahead and does not abide in the teaching of Christ has God. The person who abides in the teaching has both the Father and the Son. If anyone comes to you and does not bring this teaching, do not receive them into your house and do not greet them. For the one who greets him participates together in his evil works. Even though I had many things to write to you, I did not want to use paper and ink. Instead, I hope to come to you and talk with you face to face, so that our joy may be complete. The children of your elect sister send their greetings. John says that he is happy because many Christians in this congregation are still walking in the truth. In other words, they are still living in accordance with Christ's teachings. They believe the gospel and live as if it were true. The secessionists have not deceived everyone. Thanks be to God. John explains the purpose of this letter. He is asking this congregation to love each other. Indeed, love was a major theme of 1 John. And walking in love also means walking in accordance with the apostles' instruction. The deceivers and antichrists do not love the church because they do not know Christ. If the elect lady and her children practice love, it is because they know Christ and confess that Jesus comes in the flesh. John wants these Christians to be on their guard so that they don't lose the eternal life that is given to those who believe in Christ and follow him. Those who respond rightly to the word possess both the Father and the Son. Those who reject the word, but go beyond what the word says, do not possess God. John says that false teachers might come to this congregation. When this happens, these Christians must not receive them into their homes or greet them. They must not participate in their evil works. Maybe John is saying that these Christians should not befriend false teachers, lest they influence them and lead them astray. Or maybe John is saying that these Christians should not allow false teachers to live in their homes. By providing room and board, they would be supporting their evil and dangerous ministry. Or maybe John is saying that these false teachers must not join these Christians in worship. It is likely that these Christians assembled inside the houses of their wealthy members. So when John says, don't receive them into your homes, he might mean, don't invite them to your worship services. Don't let them preach and teach. Don't pray with them. Indeed, when John refers to a greeting, he might be referring to a greeting that took place within the divine service, which indicated fellowship. Here's how we might apply this to ourselves. We must not allow false teachers into our pulpits or pretend that we have fellowship with them. We can allow visitors into the divine service, but they attend as interested listeners and observers. We don't ask them to contribute to the offering, and we don't commune with them. Also, we do not support heterodox ministries or missionary endeavors. We do not give money to them. We don't join with the Baptists in a joint vacation Bible school program or give our support to the Gideons. If we support them, we support their false teaching. Finally, John says that John says that his letters will not be the final word on these subjects. Soon he will visit his churches and he will deal with the false teachers in person. Soon he will come and answer the questions of these confused Christians. All right, now let's read the third letter of John. Starting with verse 1. From the elder, to Gaius the beloved, whom I love in the truth. Beloved, concerning all things I pray that you are well, and that you are in good health, just as your soul is well. For I have rejoiced greatly because some brothers came and testified about your truth or faithfulness, just as you walk in the truth. I have no greater joy than these things, to hear that my children are walking in the truth. Beloved, you are faithful in whatever work you do for the brothers, even doing this for strangers, who testified about your love before the church, whom you will treat well if you send them on in a manner worthy of God. After all, they have gone out for the sake of the name, while receiving nothing from the Gentiles. Therefore we ought to receive such people, so that we might be fellow workers for the truth. I have written something to the church, but Diotrephes, who loves to be first among them, does not receive us. So when I come, I will call attention to his works, how he talks nonsense about us with evil words. Since he is not satisfied with these things, he doesn't receive the brothers either. Indeed, he prevents those who desire to receive the brothers, and he casts them out of the church. Not satisfied with that, he even refuses to welcome other believers. Beloved, do not imitate what is evil, but imitate what is good. The person who does what is good is of God. The person who does what is evil has not seen God. As for Demetrius, he has been testified by all and by the truth itself. Also, we testify as well, and you know that our testimony is true. I have many things to write to you, but I do not wish to do so with ink and pen. Instead, I hope to see you soon, and we will talk face to face. Peace be to you. The beloved people here greet you. Greet the beloved people there with the name. This is an incredibly personal letter written by John. He is writing to Gaius. The name Gaius is mentioned elsewhere in the New Testament, but we have no reason to believe that this Gaius is to be identified with any of the other Gaiuses found in the New Testament. Gaius was a very popular name in the Roman Empire of the first century. Now, this Gaius was a fairly prominent member of one of John's congregations. It seems that he was loyal to John and he was very hospitable. He welcomed and aided faithful Christian missionaries, including John's co-workers. In this letter, John praises his good works, and he condemns the works of Diotrephes. Diotrephes probably was a pastor, or he was the owner of the house where this congregation gathered. He had lots of power in this congregation and loved it. He wanted to be above everyone else, and he refused to acknowledge John's authority or to work with John. Diotrephes said wicked things about John, trying to tarnish his reputation. He refused to welcome anyone sent by John, and he told the other Christians to do the same. If anyone disagreed with him, he would cast them out of the congregation. John condemns this wicked leader of the church, and he says that he will deal with him shortly. One other person is mentioned in this letter, Demetrius. He was a co-worker of John and probably the one delivering this letter to Gaius. John tells Gaius to trust Demetrius and probably hopes that Gaius will provide him room and board. This letter reveals that there are wicked men associated with the church who claim to be Christian and who become leaders in the church. Sometimes pastors and other church leaders abuse their power and create real problems. Such people must be dealt with. Church discipline is necessary because it prevents wicked people from abusing the little lambs of Christ. Also, we see in this letter the importance of Christians supporting each other. Faithful Christian pastors and leaders should support and help each other. We need each other. We depend on each other. Likewise, pastors and church leaders need the encouragement and support of loyal laity. We need people like Gaius. How are you supporting and encouraging your pastors and leaders in your church? Have you been praying for them? Are you willing to open your home to them? Are you ready to speak up for the faithful Christian leader, even if it means both of you are cast out of the congregation? No Christian is in this alone. Pastors should lean on their fellow ministers and on their people. The people should be there for their ministers. We are in this thing together. That's why we call the church a body, right? A body has many members, but each member is connected to the others, and they support each other. The eye needs the foot, and the foot needs the eye. So ask yourself, how can I be a Gaius for my church? That's it. I hope that you have appreciated these reflections on the epistles of John. In many ways, these are difficult parts of the Bible, and trying to meditate on these books together over the internet has been challenging. However, I am glad we did it. I hope this has made this difficult year a little easier for you. God bless you as we finish the second half of 2020.